Okay, so let's start with a bit of a time travel experiment. Imagine I could drop you into, say, 17th century London,
Okay, got it.
and I just ask you a simple question. Describe a swan. What would you say?
Well, I mean, that's easy. It's a big, graceful bird, long neck.
And it's what color?
It's white, obviously. Every swan anyone had ever seen was white.
Right. It wasn't even a question. It was like an unassailable scientific fact.
It was, right up until 1697.
What happened in 1697?
Dutch explorers, they're sailing up a river in Western Australia, and they see something that shouldn't exist,
A black swan.
a black swan. And in that single moment, thousands of years of confirmed observations just gone, invalidated.
By one single bird. And that's the hook for today's deep dive. We are getting into The Black Swan by Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
And it's so important to say up front, this is not a book about economics, really, or birds.
No, it's a book about epistemology. It's about how we know what we think we know.
Exactly. It's about why we are, sort of biologically wired to be blind to the huge random events that actually shape everything.
Like 9/11, or the internet, or a global pandemic.
Yeah.
The stuff that's never on the forecast.
Right. And Taleb is very, very specific. A black swan isn't just any old surprise.
No, it has rules. He gives us 3 criteria in the book.
Yeah, he does. The first one is that it has to be an outlier. Nothing in the past can even suggest it's possible.
So it comes completely out of left field.
Completely. Second, it has to have an extreme impact. Massive consequences.
We're not talking about a surprise party. We're talking about something that rewrites history.
And the third one. This is the one that really gets me. It's what he calls retrospective predictability.
The I knew it all along effect.
Precisely. After the event happens, we all look back and we weave this neat little story to make it seem like it was predictable.
Oh, of course, the 2008 crash happened. The signs were all there.
Yes, but they weren't. Beforehand, it was just noise. It was chaos. We clean up the past to make ourselves feel smarter.
This illusion of understanding, it's dangerous.
It's incredibly dangerous, and it brings us to maybe the most powerful metaphor in the entire book.
The turkey problem.
The turkey problem.
I love this one. It's so simple and so grim. Walk us through it.
Okay, so you're a turkey,
Right.
and every single day, a human comes out and gives you food, protects you from foxes, gives you fresh water.
So from my perspective, as the turkey, the data is looking fantastic.
Your spreadsheet is perfect. Day 1, fed. Day 500, fed. Day 1000, fed.
My confidence that humans are my friends is hitting an all-time high.
Your statistical model says you are the safest you have ever been. Every day reinforces your belief.
And then, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving arrives.
And something unexpected happens. The hand that fed you is now, well,
The most important day of the turkey's life completely invalidated all its prior data.
That is the problem of induction. The past wasn't just unhelpful, it was actively misleading. It was building a false sense of security.
And here's the real insight, the part that matters for us.
Go on.
That event was a black swan for the turkey,
Yes.
but it was not a black swan for the butcher.
Not at all. The butcher knew the plan the whole time.
So a black swan is relative to your knowledge, and the goal is to not be the turkey.
The goal is to not be the turkey.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the difference between absence of evidence and evidence of absence.
That's the round trip fallacy. That sounds complicated.
It's simple but deadly. Think about a cancer screening. The doctor says, we see no evidence of a tumor.
Okay, good news.
Is it? Or does it just mean the machine wasn't good enough to see it? No evidence of a tumor is not the same as evidence of no tumor.
Wow. Okay, we confuse those all the time.
All the time. We think because the market hasn't crashed in a while, it means the market is safe.
When really it just means we haven't seen the crash. Yeah.
Exactly. And this comes down to a bigger idea. Taleb says we're living in 2 different worlds at the same time. He calls them mediocristan and extremistan.
Right, this is where it gets a little more technical, but it's so important for understanding risk. Let's start with mediocristan.
Mediocristan is the land of the average. It's the physical world. Things like height, weight, calorie intake.
Things with, like, biological limits.
Exactly. And in this world, the average is everything. A single data point can't really change the total picture.
He uses the example of weight, right? You get 1,000 people in a room, and then you add the heaviest person on Earth. The average weight of that room barely moves.
Barely. The outlier gets washed out by the collective. So you can use a bell curve here. You can make predictions.
Okay, that makes sense. But we don't live there. Not really.
Our financial and social lives, They take place in Extremistan.
The land of the Black Swan.
This is the world of non-physical scalable things. So wealth, book sales, YouTube views, market crashes.
Things that don't have a natural limit.
Right. And here, the rules are totally different. The average is meaningless.
So take that same room of 1,000 people, calculate their average wealth, then Bill Gates walks in.
The average wealth per person suddenly becomes, what, hundreds of millions of dollars?
Which is a complete lie. It tells you nothing about the actual people in that room.
Nothing. Because in Extremistan, one single observation, the outlier, can represent 99.9% of the total. The outlier is the story.
And this is the danger. We use the tools from Mediocristan, like the bell curve,
The great intellectual fraud, as he calls it.
to try and predict things in Extremistan.
It's like using a ruler to measure an earthquake. The bell curve is built to ignore the tails, to ignore the outliers. But in finance and culture, the outliers are the only things that matter.
Well, we're fundamentally using the wrong map for the territory.
We are, and our own brains are conspiring against us.
Which brings us to the fallacies, the mental traps.
The first big one is the narrative fallacy.
We love a good story.
We need it. Our brains are hardwired to turn random facts into a coherent story. We hate pure randomness.
So after a company succeeds, we read the CEO's biography, and it's this clean line. Had a vision, worked hard, overcame obstacles, succeeded.
Right. We create this cause and effect chain that makes it all seem inevitable.
And it gives us this illusion of understanding.
Exactly. We think we understand the past, so we think we can predict the future. But we don't understand the past. We've just tidied it up.
Which connects to another one, silent evidence.
We only ever see the winners. The successful startups get magazine covers. The failed ones disappear.
The dead don't write memoirs.
So we massively overestimate the role of skill, and we almost completely ignore the role of luck.
Because the evidence of failure is silent.
It's a graveyard, and we never visit it.
And there's one more big one, the ludic fallacy. Ludic from Pro Games.
Yes, from the Latin for games. This is his attack on people who think the world works like a casino.
What's wrong with that? In a casino, you know the odds.
Exactly. You have structured uncertainty. The rules are known, the probabilities are calculated.
But real life isn't a casino.
In real life, the casino can get hit by a meteor. The dealer could be cheating. The government could shut the whole thing down.
The real world doesn't have clean rules.
Economists and risk managers try to model reality like it's a game of cards, but they ignore the fact that at any moment someone can walk in, flip the table over, and change the game entirely.
Okay, I have to pause here. Because if I'm listening to this, I'm starting to feel pretty, I don't know, helpless.
I get it. It can sound that way.
Our brains are tricking us. The experts are using the wrong math.
Yeah.
Are we just supposed to give up?
No, absolutely not. This is where Taleb gets really practical. He says once you accept that you can't predict, you can stop trying.
And do what instead?
You focus on robustness, on being hard to kill.
Being able to take a punch.
Exactly. And the first step is what he calls epistemic humility.
A fancy way of saying.
Admitting what you don't know. Being confident enough to say, I don't know.
He talks about the anti-library from Umberto Eco.
Yes, Eco had a library of 30,000 books. And he said you can judge a person not by their read books, but by their unread books.
Because the unread books represent what you don't know.
Right. A collection of books you've already read is just an ego-stroking trophy. A library of unread books is a constant reminder of your ignorance. It keeps you humble. It keeps you curious.
So step one, embrace what you don't know. What's step two?
The barbell strategy.
Okay, this is his financial advice, but I think it applies more broadly.
It absolutely does. The idea is to avoid the medium risk middle ground.
Why? That sounds balanced.
Because in Extremistan, medium risk is where the hidden black swans live. Instead, you go to the extremes.
A barbell.
You put, say, 85 to 90% of your assets in something incredibly safe. Cash, treasury bills, things that can't go to zero.
So you're protected from a catastrophic loss.
You're immune to ruin. And then you take the other 10 to 15%.
And you get crazy with it?
You make hyper-aggressive speculative bets, angel investing, wild ideas, things with massive unlimited upside.
So your downside is capped. You can only lose that 10%. But your upside is, well, it's a black swan.
Exactly. How would you apply that to, say, a career?
A barbell career.
Okay.
So maybe you keep your safe, stable day job, your 90%. But on nights and weekends, you use that 10% of your energy on the wild bet. You write the novel, you build the app, You start the band.
Yes. You don't become a fragile, starving artist. You're a robust accountant who is also writing a screenplay.
If the screenplay fails, which it probably will, you're fine. You're still an accountant.
But if it hits,
It's a life-changing, positive black swan.
that's the strategy. Protect yourself from ruin while giving yourself exposure to serendipity.
Which leads to his social advice. How to catch one of these positive black swans.
My favorite part of the book.
Hmm?
His advice is simple. Go to parties.
How?
But he's specific. Not loud clubs where you can't talk. Go to dinner parties. Go to coffee shops. Go anywhere you might have an interesting unplanned conversation.
You can't plan luck.
But you can increase your surface area for luck to find you. You have to tinker. You have to wander. You have to talk to strangers. A chance encounter could change your life, but only if you leave the house.
So it's all about putting yourself in a position where good things could happen while simultaneously making sure bad things can't destroy you.
That is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. It's about navigating randomness.
Navigating it with dignity. I think that's a good place to land this. There's that one last story he tells about the commuter.
Oh, yes, the snub your destiny idea.
Tell us.
A friend of his gives him this piece of advice. Don't run for trains.
I mean, that feels wrong. If you miss the train, you're late.
But think about the psychology. When you're running, sweating, stressed, you're a slave to the schedule. You've let this external thing control you. He says missing a train is only painful if you are running for it. If you choose to walk calmly and you miss it, you've asserted your own freedom. You refuse to be a slave to the timetable.
To snub your destiny.
You stand tall against the chaos. You can't control the world. You can't predict the events, but you can control how you carry yourself through it all.
Be robust. Be humble.
And don't run for the train.
I think that's the perfect thought to leave everyone with. This has been a deep dive into the Black Swan.
Thanks for listening.